Bonjour and welcome back to my channel. Claude here. Today I am going to be giving you my thoughts on the Lorenzi Tarot deck by Irene Lorenzi. Now I've had this deck on pre-order since the first week of September and it just kept on getting postponed and postponed. I was very disheartened about this, so you can imagine how excited I got when I received this about a week ago, maybe 8 days ago. So as always, it is all time stamped, so if you don't want to hear about the box, the guidebook and so on, and you just want to see the cards, you can just check that out because you can just go to the cards straight up. So let's start with the box. Now this is an unusual box in the sense that it's not your standard, you know, like you get the Llewellyns and so on and so forth. And it is landscape, very pretty. Now these are the sides. And the back. Now I'm going to read to you what it says on the back because I'm not sure you can see it. So Lorenzi Tarot tells the story of our era, a time steeped in dualism between the ancestral realm and the modern world, where human beings strive to find a balance between nature and technology. Through powerful imagery, this stylish deck aims to reconcile conflict with harmony, light with shadow, and doubt with hope. While the major arcana cards are inhabited mostly by human figures, the minor arcana are dominated by animals, both real and mythological. Now, if you know anything about me, you'll know that I love animals in decks, generally speaking, so that was one of the reasons why I was drawn to this. The two arcana realms communicate with each other, so we find characters that recur in the deck, passing from one card to another between dystopia to dreams, creating their own evolutionary path. And so you have 78 cards, like a standard deck, and a 100-page book with full color illustrations. So very, very nice box. It is a US Games deck. And yeah, there you go. So when you open it, you have the box. So lovely pastel colors. I don't quite know why it does that inside there. You can see the seams are a bit weird. I'm not quite sure why this is not stuck properly, but maybe it's done on purpose. Maybe I just don't know anything about design, because the box actually has a V kind of shape there, which I'd not noticed. So it probably is for that reason. So I will be quiet. I know nothing about design. So there's the top of the box, and that's the guidebook. And then when you take out the guidebook, this is how the cards are nudged. Now, I was pleasantly surprised because I thought it would be a split deck, and it wasn't. So, you know, you've got your standard little ribbon, and that's how the card looks like. The box looks like, sorry, and the back of the cards look like. So let me put that on the side, and let's move on to the guidebook. Now, this is stunning in quality. I mean, the production of it, you can see the artwork is beautiful, but it is a beautiful book. That's how it looks on the back. And the quality of the paper, you can see, I'm hoping my camera shows you, it's silky, it's beautiful. So when you open it, you've got the title, and then introduction. Now in the introduction, she explains the essence of the tarot, if you will, of that deck. And she talks about 4 themes that she wanted to cover. So you have the theme of duality right here, the theme of time, the theme of nature, and the theme of hope. And then she goes on to explain that major arcanas have mainly human figures and the minor arcana are dominated by animals. And then after that, there's a quick page about who she is. So in this page, you find out that she's an Italian illustrator and a designer, which explains why it's so pretty. Because if you ask me, you know, anything Italian, whether we're talking fashion, architecture, food, it's always beautiful. So that's probably why I was attracted to it when I saw it. So she also started working in fashion as a costume designer. So she's had a very varied career, and she talks to you about that. And then we move on straight to the major arcana. So you'll notice that there is no section that talk about, you know, how to cleanse your deck and how to acquaint yourself with it. There is no example of spreads of any kind, so if you're a beginner reader, do not expect much support from the guidebook, because there really isn't much. It's gorgeous, but it's very succinct, let me just put it this way. Now I have got somewhere here the reference of some pages I want to go through with you, so let me just make sure I can see my references. But the major arcana, so this is what you get a page per card. Now again, absolutely stunning, you can see the artwork, and then here you have a tiny blurb that describes the picture, and then you've got keywords for the meanings and reversed meanings. So it's very succinct. You know, if you're not familiar with tarot, let's be honest, it's not very helpful. So I want to talk to you, for instance, about the Five of Swords. So when you've looked at all of the majors, and I'm not going through it because I'm going to show you the cards, you have the Suit of Swords. And I'm going to read to you what it says to give you an idea. So the Five of Swords, thieving magpies fly around the carcass of a rib cage. Inside it, there is a heart pierced by sword that they would like to steal. Magpies represent taking the time to reevaluate priorities and working on the things that really matter. Little men attempt to stay balanced on the bones, but they're fighting a losing battle. Now you see, to me, there's a problem there, and that's because, okay, so thieving magpies, I look at the cards and I see magpies, I think about theft immediately. Now, magpies have a dual meaning when it comes to symbolism. They either are a sign of good luck or bad luck, depending on where you're from. But, you know, in England, for instance, there's a saying that says that if you see a magpie, you need to say, "Good morning, Mr. Magpie," to them, because otherwise you're going to get bad luck during the day. So I look at the Five of Swords, and I know what the meaning of the Five of Swords is, but all I see is theft, and it's kind of distracting, because the Five of Swords doesn't talk about theft. And then you've got a few keywords, like great existential battle, exploration of the inner world, I don't know why this is here, loss, failure, theft, again theft, why, fight or flight, separation, mourning, destruction. These keywords to me, and again, these are just my opinions, okay? I'm not saying I'm right, but it just doesn't work in that respect. So then let's have a look at maybe the next suit, which is the Wands suit. So for the Wands, I want to talk to you about the Eight of Wands. And I really like the Eight of Wands, you know, like the energy of it, the fact that it's fast movement, things advancing and, you know, getting unstuck. And the Eight of Wands card basically is a snake chopped to bits. And it says, a snake cut into pieces carries eggs inside him. Its wound don't slow him down, it is poised to take action, making a final effort to defend its important treasure, ignoring the man who dance on him. And you see the meanings, she's got down harmony, and I've never seen the Eight of Wands as the last effort to defend something, by the way. It's more the Nine of Wands. Great hope, progress, yes, turning point, okay, alignment, okay. And then I want to talk to you about, for instance, let me show you some of the court cards. Oh yeah, the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands. Now, my problems about this is the use of numerology, because I'm really into numerology. If you watched any of my readings, you'll know that I read a lot with numbers, and there is a very loose usage of numbers which doesn't work with my way of reading. So for the Queen of Wands, she described the person. The queen is a fulfilled woman who believes in herself, okay? The heart that emerges from her chest represents her generosity towards other human beings. The candle on her heart illuminates the safe place in which she welcomes you. 2 flamingos fly around her. The number 2 represents giving and receiving. But then you go at the King of Wands, description of the King of Wands, and she says 2 flamingos flying around him represent his generosity and protection. You see what I'm saying? It's that number 2 every time. That it's not what it means to me anyway. Please just do not assassinate me in the comments about this. I'm just telling you my point of view. So then we have the Suit of Cups. And I wanted to talk to you about the Two of Cups explanation, for instance. So you can see the artwork. So she says, two twin mermaids defend each other from possible dangers, ready to sacrifice themselves in the name of true love and commitment. As soul partner, they will always have each other's back. To me, that just doesn't mean much, if you ask me. And then you've got as meanings love, affinity, deep friendship, yeah, collaboration, yeah, lasting relationship, yeah, partnership, reconciliation, attachment. I just don't see how what is written above the keywords add to the meanings, if you see what I'm saying. And so when I look at the cards, well, I know what the Two of Cups is, so I can infer the meaning, but it just doesn't speak to me. And then I'll give you a final example. Let's just say, let's go to the Pentacles. And I think I wanted to talk about, was it the Ace? So that's the Ace of Pentacles, stunning looking. A hand grows up from a tree which is coming out of the clouds, and in the bright sky stands the seed of money, shining like a sun, while two peacocks, symbols of positive change, sit on the branches of the tree in all their magnificence. Now, I have researched the symbology of peacocks. I am that sad. When I get a deck, I go through all of the cards and I write down what messages I'm getting for every single card. Then I go through their guidebook, add the meanings that the author intended for said card, and then I research. And peacocks are primarily a sign of virility, royalty, strength, rejuvenation, respect and integrity, and beauty. They're not a symbol of positive change. So to me, that just does not work when I see it. I don't see this in the cards. And the peacocks are used in other cards, and they're kind of not used with the same symbolism. It's conflicting, and it confuses me. And it's like, the Nine of Pentacles, you've got this beautiful elephant, and the Ten of Pentacles, you have a giraffe. Now, to me, an elephant as a symbol represents strength, and longevity. So I would have stuck the elephant with the Ten of Pentacles because it's the legacy card. So when I see this Nine of Pentacles, I think Ten of Pentacles, which confuses me because it is not the Ten of Pentacles, if you see what I'm saying. So, yeah, I'm having problems with that. I also think that it's so succinct what's written about the cards. It doesn't really give you a deep meaning, and bearing in mind this deck is supposed to have strong symbolism, I'm having problems with it. So that's for the guidebook and what you get for it. Now I'm going to show you the cards. Now this is a truly stunning deck. You have a little bird at the bottom of the box. It is stunning. You can see it's kind of silky. I love the back. It is so stylish. I've got average hand size, and that's where it sits in my hand. Now let me grab you another deck very quickly to give you an idea of what it's like. So let's say, let me get my 1JJ Swiss, which is a standard tarot deck. It looks like that. So you can see it's slightly bigger. So I'm going to show you. Right, so you can see slightly bigger, but it's not difficult to handle, and actually it does shuffle beautifully, by the way. So if you look at the cards, they get their shape very easily. They're silky, beautiful. No complaints about the cardstock or how they look. I mean, yeah, I love it. Okay, so we start with the Fool. And maybe I should just zoom in. Just give me a second. Let me... No, that's zoom out. I hope you can see that. Okay, so then you've got the Magician. And there is a lot of detail in there. You can see little men there. and everywhere. The other thing I've noticed in this deck is there's a lot of hearts everywhere, which I'm not sure why it is. So you have the High Priestess, the heart is there again. And for some reason, you see, I see carps, koi carps, I mean, as a sign of abundance. Probably because I can also read Lenormand cards, and so that doesn't work for me with the meaning of the High Priestess. It distracts me. The Empress, which has a heart above her head for some reason. Now again, stunning artwork. I can't, I mean, you know, I ordered it because I love the artwork. It really feels like you're having miniature bits of artwork. But, so you know, the Empress, okay, so she's youthful, and if you read in the book about the Empress, and I'm going to do it very briefly, I hope I'm not boring you. The young Empress has a ribcage crown upon her head. Inside the crown, her pure heart pulsates with a nurturing energy. In front of her, the world, held and protected by ego, is ready to be explored with all the vital force of her youth, represented by the two flying flamingos. So there, the flamingos mean youth, which they don't in other cards, which already confuses me. But the other thing is for me, the Empress is not a young person. Okay, the Empress is somebody who's a ruler, someone who's experienced, so someone who has a certain age. Doesn't have to be someone very old, but it's not someone who's pure, naive and innocent, let's just put it this way. They didn't get to where they are by being that way. You know, the tarot was created a long time ago, and that does not work for me. You would never have a young person as an Empress, and it bugs me, you know, call me particular, but it does. So then we have the Emperor, who's got a pig head on, the Hierophant, really like the hat, the Lovers. Now, I'm not too keen on the heart on their pants. I find it distracting. Again, don't ask. It's just who I am, right? The Chariot. And for some reason, there's a heart here. Again, there's a lot as well. I've noticed a lot of mirrored images in this deck. So you've got that, which you'd think, well, yes, just, you know, yes, this just, it's just the normal symbolism of the Chariot. But it happens in other cards. Now the Strength card, which is on the box, I personally think it's absolutely gorgeous. The Hermit, now again, you're going to think I'm splitting hair, or hairs you say, sorry. To me, when you go on Hermit mode, it's when you kind of isolate yourself, so you don't have your mobile phone, you're not texting other people. Now I've read about it in the book, and it's saying that he's got no signal. So that's you know, he can't contact anyone. But when I see the card, unfortunately, what I see is that phone. And that doesn't work for me. The Wheel of Fortune, stunning card. Justice, with the heart again. The Hangman, which is peculiar with this person here. Now, I'm not going to read you all of their meanings, because we'll be here forever. And, you know, Death card, which Death is having lunch, and it's saying here everybody needs a break, and on her chest it says Death in lunch break. Not overly keen about that, but Temperance, stunning looking. The Devil also, you know, as I said, it's so pretty. The Tower. And here it says, man fly, man fall. The Star. Nothing is as it seems. And you see, I don't agree with this being attached to the Star card. And that's all I see. And the fact that a leg is chopped. To me, the Star is healing. So a chopped leg doesn't work. And, you know, we all read with our intuition, obviously, and tarot is a very personal thing. But for me, if the symbolism doesn't match my knowledge of symbolism, then it becomes very distracting. The Moon. And there's a pig flying above it that says, stay human. that pig is on another card as well. That says stay human. The sun. Now that is Latin, sol omnibus lucet. Told you about the dual imagery. Now I know that on some sun cards you do have two kids on it, so fine. Judgment. Again, you see what I mean about the picture is always like in twos and the heart is in the middle. The world. I can't stop looking at her boobs. I shouldn't say that, but there you go. And then we move on to the sword suit. Now this is a stunning ace of swords, very pretty. The two of swords, this time again you have a parallel image, you know, like a mirror image, rather than the standard person with two swords. The three of swords, parallel flamingos with the three swords. The four of swords, and this is something I'd say, you know, if you're not an experienced tarot reader, four of swords and I see three doves. Now yes, if you look closely there are four swords at the bottom, but the first thing I see is three doves, and I find it confusing. The five of swords, which is what I was reading to you about, with the five swords, we got four swords here, and actually 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, and 5, that's a thermometer, don't know why it's here. But you have three birds. Why? The six of swords. Seven of swords. So this time you've got 7 birds around. The eight of swords, I like that for the prison of the mind, you know, with the antlers and the swords being there. I do like that. That actually, symbolically speaking, really like. 9 of swords. Not evident that there are 9 swords, but then again it is written at the bottom, so, you know. And the 10 of swords, which for once is not, you know, awful looking with someone dying horribly, so I really, really like that about that card. Page of swords. The Knight of Swords, no face. Queen of Swords is very pretty, but again there's that heart here, which seems to be in pretty much every single card. And the King of Swords. And you know, the owl, wisdom, knowledge, I get that, that works for me. So then we move on to the wands, and all the wands have a heart at their tip. So the Two of Wands, the Three of Wands, and again you see I find it confusing. When I see two animals, I know there's 3 wands, but all I see is 2, and it plays with my brain. 4 of Wands, you've got them there at the bottom, the wands. 5 of Wands. Now I've got to say, you really have to look closely, but they're there, the wands, around the heart again. 6 of Wands. 7 of Wands. Again, this is that mirror image I was talking to you about, with a heart here. There's a heart on each of the wands, and there's a heart in the middle. 8 of Wands, which is that chopped up snake, which I'm sorry, I don't like that. 9 of Wands is stunning, love that. 10 of Wands, and then we move on to the court cards. The Page of Wands, the Knight, and again you see the heart there. The Queen of Wands, and the King of Wands. Then we move on to the cups, very pretty, but then again, you know, aside from the snake that's been chopped up, I think that the cards are very pretty. 2 of Cups, which is those twins having each other's backs. 3 of Cups, with the 3 cups at the bottom here. 4 of Cups. 5 of Cups. 6 of Cups. I'm not quite sure what this is meant to represent, if I'm honest. When I was doing my bonding with the deck, because normally I publish a review about a month after having worked with the deck. But this deck, 8 days on, I could tell by my notes that it was not talking to me. So I look at the Six of Cups and I know what the Six of Cups means, obviously. And I look at that and this is saying absolutely nothing to me, apart from just protection or even isolation. I don't get it. Seven of Cups. Eight of Cups. Nine of Cups. It's like the focus is the animal and you have to really look at where the cups are to find them. I don't know. Ten of Cups. Yeah, there you go. I told you. Stay human. I told you there was another card that had that pig on it. So then the Page of Cups. The Knight of Cups. Queen of Cups. And the King of Cups. So then finally the Pentacles. They are stunning, the Pentacles cards. I mean, look at that. Look at the detail. The Two of Pentacles. You see again, mirrored image. Three of Pentacles. And the heart here. Four of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles. Mirrored. Six of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles. That I can get, you know, when an animal, a chameleon maybe, you know, self-analysis, seeing how far you've gone, maybe. Eight of Pentacles, two giraffes, again that mirror theme going on. And to me, the Eight of Pentacles is a card of skill, of, you know, being very good at what you do and having honed your skill and working hard and diligently, and I don't get that from it. I just don't. Nine of Pentacles, I told you about what I thought about the elephant. Ten of Pentacles. And then the court cards, we have the Page of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles. And they have this, you know, that thing that measures the time with the sand in, and I don't quite understand what it is in their heads. I've read what it is about, but I just don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. So you see, I'm so disappointed because I wanted to love this deck. I really did. I just, you know, I waited since September to get my hands on this, and it is so beautifully made. I mean, it's exquisite. The cards are, oh, pretty lovely to shuffle. The book is exquisite, but I've got to be honest, it doesn't talk to me at all. Now, I find the symbolism slightly off as well compared to what, you know, the knowledge I have of symbols, just generally speaking. And I'm going to make a comment here that I have noticed that recently there are more and more tarot decks that are being published that are absolutely stunning, beautiful, but they are made by people who are designers of some kind, and the knowledge of tarot, in my mind, in my opinion, okay, is not there, basically. It seems to me, and you know, call me a cynic, that, you know, people are seeing that, you know, they're good at designing and so on and so forth, and they can make money by creating a deck that's going to look absolutely stunning, like having miniatures of their artwork. But tarot is, you know, it's ancient, it's really old, and it's based on symbolism that speaks to our psyche. And when you play too much with the symbolism, then you lose it. You lose the meaning of the card, and that's how I feel about this. And if a beginner reader was to try reading with this, I feel like the meanings are kind of lost a little bit. But that's my point of view, okay? I understand that, you know, tarot is something that's fluid. I've seen it change. I've seen the meanings change. you know, for the cards. But and actually, Bare Bones Tarot, the book from Vincent Petticci, is very good for that, because he gives you meanings, like what was it in the 60s, what was it in the 70s, in the 80s, and then nowadays. So I leave you a card here for this book, because that is amazing. Now, if you like this kind of art, I reviewed I think it was called the Surreal Tarot, or something like that. I didn't keep it, as you can tell, I can't remember the title, but I'll put the card here, because if you like this, in art style anyway, you will probably like the other one too. So if you want to check that out, I'll put it there. But sadly, this is not going to stay in my toolbox, as I like to call it, because I don't call my tarot decks a collection, because I am not a collector. I am someone who reads tarot every day, and a tarot deck has to work for me. It's a tool, and it needs to speak to me very loudly and very clearly. And when it doesn't, no matter how pretty it is, then it goes, it leaves me, because I don't have space for a deck that I cannot use, which is sadly my thoughts on this. And it is truly stunning. So please, if you love it, do let me know in the comment box below. I believe that, you know, it'd be boring if we all thought the same about everything. You know, the world would be a very sad place. So by all means, let me know. If you agree with me, by all means, let me know. I love talking about tarot, just generally speaking. So please let me know what your thoughts are on this deck. And if you already own it, does it speak to you? Are you able to use it? Just comment below. So wherever you are in the world, and whenever you're watching this, I thank you for your time. I'm really grateful you chose to spend this half hour with me, and I wish you a truly magical day. Take care, and until next time, au revoir.